case studies and emergencies when driving. You will learn in this lesson following topics. Discuss various types of accidents. Crash with pedestrians. Crash with vehicle in front. Crash with vehicle behind. Crash with vehicle at junctions. Straight left turn. Crash with passing vehicle. Crash with oncoming vehicle. Single vehicle crash. How to avoid above accidents. Responsibilities in crash. Assistance to victims. First aid. In vehicle fire extinguisher. The following accident case studies will show you a crash with vehicle from side. Please watch and listen carefully and we will discuss the possible causes and solutions. It was a Sunday morning at 8:30 am when Ahmed was driving to his office. Whilst turning right at a junction from a minor to major road, he was involved in an accident with an approaching car from his left side. Ahmed received minor injuries and was transferred to hospital by the ambulance service. The investigation report looked into the causes and it was reported that Ahmed was in a rush to reach his office as he was running late and the drive to the office was still over an hour away. He saw the approaching car but was confident that he could complete the turn before the car arrived. The investigation further highlighted the fact that the approaching car driver had said that he also saw Ahmed's car approaching the T-Junction but he did not react by slowing down because he assumed it was his right of way and Ahmed would stop before at the stop line. What do you think are the possible causes of this accident? Ahmed was in a hurry and he had ignored the priority rule of the approaching vehicle. The approaching vehicle assumed that he had priority over Ahmed's car, hence he did react correctly. What do you think of the possible solutions to avoid this kind of crash? Ahmed should leave early for his drive to the office, so he will not take unnecessary risks and ignore priority rules to reach his office on time. The approaching car driver should anticipate the actions of other drivers, be more cautious, and should always expect the unexpected in order to avoid a crash even if it is his priority. A case study of the accident by a passing vehicle crash. Possible causes of the crash. High speeding. Pulling out suddenly in front of heavy vehicle. Lack of lane discipline, fatigue. Lack of attentiveness on the road. Not respecting the heavy vehicle right of way. Failed to maintain safe distance. Possible solution. Maintain safe distance. Avoid overspeeding. Stay alert on the road. Maintain lane discipline. Don't drive when fatigued, tired. Give priority to heavy vehicle when they have. Never to pull out suddenly in front of heavy vehicle. The following video clip will show you an accident with a rear-end collision. Please watch carefully and we will discuss the possible causes and solutions. Let's analyze the accident from different perspectives. First, have a look at the road marking indicated with a red arrow number 1. Is it permissible to change lanes when there is a solid white line? If the answer is no, then what forced the truck driver to change lanes at this point? Watch the video again, and this time look at the vehicle ahead of the truck lane indicated with a red arrow number 2. Check if the vehicle is moving or if it's in stationary position. Did you notice that the vehicle was stationary, probably as a result of a breakdown in truck lane? Looking to the traffic movement speed of vehicles and the gap from the vehicle behind, it was a good opportunity for a truck driver to change lanes so he could avoid being stuck behind the broken down vehicle. Changing lanes with a solid white line in this situation is allowed but only if it is 100% safe to do. Changing lanes for the truck driver was inevitable at some stage for him to continue his driving unimpeded. The car driver's lack of reactions to the situation resulted in a rear-end collision. Let's see possible reasons and solutions. The truck driver did not signal his intention through the use of the indicator. The truck driver did not observe his blind spot and therefore did not see the car driver. The car driver assumed that vehicles were not allowed to change lanes where solid white lines are painted. The car driver assumed he had right of way. The car had mechanical brake failure, so he could not to slow down or stop. The car driver was probably distracted by way of mobile phone usage, etc. The truck driver may have used the signal, but due to day and time of travel, bright sunlight may have made it difficult for the following driver to notice in time. Looking at the picture, it was possible for truck driver to see the following car, therefore he felt it was safe enough to maneuver. Even if it was assumed that it was not allowed to change lanes with a solid white line present, it is still important to anticipate the actions of other drivers and slow down to avoid an accident. If the brakes had failed, there was still enough space to steer around the truck to avoid the accident. It was possible for the car driver to avoid this particular accident if they had not been distracted and was concentrating on the driving task. They may have been under the influence of alcohol or drugs, prescriptive or non-prescriptive, mentally or physically fatigued after strenuous work, not had enough sleep, distracted by someone inside or outside the car, distracted by the use of a mobile phone or other device, egg radio sat nav. In the entire scenario, we can assume the car driver must have been distracted, which is possibly why he didn't notice the vehicle in front. Next, you will see a video clip of a crash with vehicles at a traffic signal junction. Watch carefully and we will discuss to find out the possible causes and solutions. Generally, when traffic lights change color, there is normally a 2 to 3 second time gap between colors. So when one of the traffic light signal turns to orange, the light for the other traffic would already be on red. The signal then transfers directly to green. However, in Dubai there is no orange in this part of the cycle. This means that when the green light comes on, you must check in both directions to ensure that it is safe to proceed, as this will allow time for traffic approaching from the other side to clear the junction. As a driver, you should anticipate the actions of other drivers who might be passing the red light even though it's your priority, e.g. fire service, police, ambulance, or distracted drivers. This kind of accident is very common and can happen in every city of the world. Drivers who do not wait for the green light to come on first before moving off without ensuring that it is safe to move are more likely to be involved in an accident. There could be many possible reasons for this, for example, distraction, talking on mobile phone or texting, being in a hurry, culture, aggressive driving attitude. Looking at this scenario, what do you think the driver of the black car did wrong? The driver of the black car might have been in a hurry and just assumed that the approaching traffic from right side of the junction would stop. The driver of the black car did not wait for signal to turn green. The driver of the black car moved off too fast without ensuring the road was clear. The driver might have been distracted. Drivers are usually distracted with their mobile phones, texting or reading messages while waiting at the red signal. He may then have just moved off when he saw the other cars moving. Looking at the picture, the view from the right side of black car was blocked by the white car, hence he was unable to see the approaching car. Here are some tips to help you to avoid this kind of accident in your future driving. To avoid being in a rush, plan your journey well and leave plenty of time for any unanticipated delays or situations to ensure you arrive safely at your destination. Always wait for the green signal and only proceed when have ensured that it is safe for you to enter the junction by fully observing in both directions. Avoid being distracted and stay focused, concentrating on the traffic light sequence. Now let us see the scenario from the right side of junction. Generally it is common when the drivers see the traffic light about to turn red, they usually speed up to beat the red light and cross the junction. This practice is very dangerous. As we can see from the video, the driver moved off before the green light had come on and the car approaching from the right side was speeding to beat the red light. He then crossed the junction without considering the consequences for him or the other road users at the junction. We can assume similar issues of being in a hurry or having the same culture problem to speed up when the driver sees the light changing from green to red. In both cases it is dangerous and life-threatening, and it can be avoided by taking care by use of the following precautions. Always slow down and be prepared. Stop behind the stop line while approaching junctions with traffic signals that are about to change color. Always plan your journey even for a short distance. Leave a few minutes earlier to account for any delay due to traffic conditions. Read it carefully and we will discuss to find out the possible causes and solutions. Case study: single crash. On July 28, 2002 at about 02:40 a.m., a red-color sports car was caught by a speed radar on Jumeirah Beach Road. After 5 kilometers the car crashed and burned in flames. The young couple died on the spot. Case study: single crash. Let us check the details in the radar picture. Location was in an urban area. Jumeirah Beach Road is a well-known road. Speed of the car was 227 km per hour. Time was 2:40 in the morning. Looking at the time of crash we can assume that there was no traffic on the road. Hence it was possible for the driver to drive at a high speed in an urban area. Why do you think the driver was driving so fast? There can be many reasons for driving too fast. Looking at the time of night, the first thing that comes to mind is alcohol. Second thing is the companion passenger who may have been a distraction for the driver. Third reason could that the driver wanted to show off and impress the companion passenger. Fourth is the sports car who may encourage the driver to drive fast, especially on the road at night with less traffic. How to avoid this kind of crash? It is best to learn from others' mistakes instead of experiencing it on yourself. We can avoid this kind of crashes in our life by taking into account the following precautions. It is very important to arrange the transportation back home if you are going to a drink party while you are sober. Make sure you avoid drinking and driving. Avoid to be distracted by fellow passengers. Do not show off. Always drive at a speed that is safe to do and within the legal limit no matter what car you have. The following animated video is about a head-on collision occurred on Dubai Oman Road near Hatta. Head-on collision. A couple of years ago there were a family heading towards Dubai for a picnic from a village near the Hatta area. Whilst approaching the crest of a hill in mountainous area on a two-way road, the vehicle overtook a slower-moving vehicle in front of them. As they tried to complete the overtake and return to their side of the road, another vehicle started an overtaking maneuver from the opposite direction without making sure the road was clear of traffic. Unfortunately, before they realized that the overtake was not possible, it was too late to react and they were involved in a head-on collision, which resulted in the death of all 4 occupants. Here we focus on the possible causes of this accident and the possible solutions to avoid such accidents. In the case of a head-on collision, the force of impact will be doubled. This mainly results in fatalities or severe injuries. Possible causes: overtaking in a prohibited area by both drivers. The video clearly shows that the road markings near the crest of the hill prohibit overtaking. The driver of the red car was possibly distracted by his passengers. The driver may have been excited about the picnic and did not concentrate enough, therefore he took the risk of overtaking. The driver of the yellow car did not obey the road markings. The driver of the yellow car became impatient and started overtaking in a restricted area. There is a solution to avoid these types of crashes. Remember, there is always a reason for the presence of all road markings and road signs. So where there is a no overtaking sign or road markings present, do not overtake in such an area, as it is illegal, and also due to blocked or restricted vision ahead, you cannot see who is coming from the opposite direction. Avoid being distracted by your mobile phone, example texting, or by any other means of distraction. Control your emotions, drive sensibly, and stay focused to avoid being too excited about the picnic or other such kind of activities. Always expect the unexpected. What if someone is overtaking from the opposite direction? Remember that it will always take longer to complete an overtake maneuver traveling uphill due to force of gravity pulling the vehicle downwards. While driving on a two-way road, practice the 4Rs to avoid head-on collisions. Read the road ahead to see other drivers. Watch out for problems, look out for pedestrians, look out for the next hill or curve. Reduce your speed. If an oncoming driver enters your lane, use your lights or horn to warn of your presence and slow down. This gives him more room to complete his maneuver. Drive more to the right, and keep away from the center of the road. Be ready to drive onto the shoulder or verge if required. Ride off the road if necessary, don't slam on the brakes and skid. Slow down and drive safely off the road. Driving off the road is far safer than having a head-on collision. This information highlights examples of safety precautions that you can consider to protect yourself, your family, and your property. This list is not meant to be all-encompassing. Moreover, a particular precaution may not be effective or appropriate in all circumstances. We encourage you to use your own good judgment about what's appropriate. Your responsibilities in a crash. No matter if you are driving for pleasure or have somewhere to be, you know one thing to be true: there are likely to be other vehicles on the road. For this reason, there is always a chance that you could be involved in an accident. It is important to remember one thing: a car accident can happen at any time. No matter how safe you are trying to be, you never know what the other person is going to do. Your responsibilities in a crash. If you are involved in a crash, stop immediately. Check if anyone injured. Make sure that people in your vehicle and the other vehicle are not hurt. If anyone is hurt and requires an ambulance, dial 999 and an operator will assist you. Do not move a victim unless the situation is so dangerous that this is the only choice. You must be careful that you do not make the injuries worse. For example, moving a victim can cause more harm if they have a back or neck injury. If a victim inside or outside a vehicle must be moved to escape danger, do so carefully and gently because of the risk of spinal injury or increased bleeding. Important rule. In the case of traffic accident, all road users must give every possible assistance to the victims, especially those who are injured. Offer first aid if you are qualified. In Dubai, if a crash occurs where both vehicles can be driven, they should be moved to the side of the road to stop traffic build-up. If you approach on the scene of accident where others are helping victims, do not look at the scene, as this creates traffic congestion, thus can lead to another accident. Car fire and use of fire extinguisher. A burning car is a death trap. Smoke accumulates quickly within the sealed doors and windows, and rising heat and the fire itself make a time bomb out of the gas tank. Escape from a burning car is a challenge that requires fast thinking and even faster acting. In-vehicle fire extinguisher. In matters pertaining to safety on the road, it's best to follow the age-old expression, better safe than sorry. Most of new cars come with a fire extinguisher already in place, but it's important to know where it's located in your car and how to use it. Make sure you familiarize yourself with the fire extinguisher in your car, which is usually located in the trunk or under one of the car's front seats. If a fire in your car does break out, switch off engine. Release bonnet, do not open. Get everyone out of the vehicle. Get far away from the vehicle and stay away, keeping onlookers and others away. Dial 999 and call the fire and rescue service. Warn oncoming traffic. if safe to do so. If and only if you believe it is safe to do so, attempt to put out the fire with a dry powder or foam extinguisher. If the fire is in the engine compartment, do not open the bonnet but aim the extinguisher through the radiator grill or under the edge of the bonnet. Use with caution, and if in doubt, don't attempt to tackle the fire. Final check test for lesson number 8. 70% of total questions must be answered correctly before you proceed to next lesson.